Please remain standing for the invocation given by Chaplain Reese.
It is your custom, I invite you to pray with me. All-powerful and loving God, we thank you for this wonderful day and awesome occasion that brings us together as fellow airmen, leaders, families, and friends. We rejoice with each graduate on this special day of achievement and celebration. And we ask you to continue to bless these young men and women who have endured many difficult weeks and faced many challenges. We also celebrate with the graduates of MTI School. We pray you give them the wisdom and courage needed to mold and shape the future of airmen of this great Air Force. We thank you for the love and support given by family, friends, and loved ones that allowed this day to be attainable. We ask that you would fill them with joy as they witness their graduate complete such an amazing accomplishment. We also pray you would give the leaders and instructors a sense of fulfillment and achievement for their faithful and dedicated service to these graduates. Grant these airmen boldness to stand for truth, justice, and freedom. We pray that they will always bring honor to you, the Air Force, and to themselves as they move on from basic military training. We ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Reese. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. On behalf of the 37th Training Wing, Commander Colonel Trent H. Edwards, welcome to Basic Military Training Graduation. We are honored to have with us several distinguished guests, beginning with the host of today's ceremony, Colonel Edwards and his wife, Vanessa. Today's reviewing official is the Vice Commander, 37th Training Wing, Joint Base, San Antonio, Lackland, Texas, Colonel Kendra Matthews, and her husband, Walt. The Command Chief Master Sergeant, 37th Training Wing, Joint Base, San Antonio, Lackland, Texas, Chief Master Sergeant Lou Ori and his wife, Mona. The Commander of Basic Military Training, Joint Base, San Antonio, Lackland, Texas, Colonel Michelle Edmondson and her husband, Dave. The Superintendent, Basic Military Training, Joint Base, San Antonio, Lackland, Texas, Chief Master Sergeant Richard Sutherland. We are also honored to have with us today the Assistant Vice Chief of Staff and Director, Air Staff, Headquarters, United States Air Force, Washington, D.C., Lieutenant General Stephen Hogue. The Deputy Mayor, Bedford Lakes, New Jersey, the Honorable Gary Miller and his wife, Gwen, and daughters, Sherry and Senior Airman Lorraine Miller. The Chief of Staff, Air Force Joint Headquarters, Mississippi Air National Guard, Brigadier General William Hill. The Assistant Defense Attaché, Air Attaché, Defense Cooperations Attaché, Royal Norwegian Embassy, Washington, D.C., Colonel Helga Markusen. The Director, International Training and Education, Joint Base, San Antonio, Randolph, Texas, Mr. George Gagnon. The Command Chief Master Sergeant, 25th Air Force, Joint Base, San Antonio, Lackland, Texas, Chief Master Sergeant Roger Toberman and his wife, Rachel. The G6 Senior Enlisted Advisor, United States Army in Europe, Command Sergeant Major Ricardo Samudio. Also, with the 2015 Spring Air Attachés representing 31 countries, please stand to be recognized. Although time does not permit us to introduce all our distinguished guests, the 37th Training Wing is proud to welcome each of you. We hope you enjoy today's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, prior to today's ceremony, the Military Training Instructor School Class 150205 will receive their campaign hats. The dark blue campaign hat these instructors will receive today has been the symbol of the MTI Corps since 1974. These instructors will carry on the traditions and esprit de corps of the United States Air Force as they pass on their knowledge to our newest generation of warrior airmen. Technical Sergeant Sean Sirico. Technical Sergeant Toyo Stone Little.
Back.
Master Sergeant John Glenn. The Commandant Award recipient, Master Sergeant Joshua Fetro. Technical Sergeant Wayman Brown. The Distinguished Graduate and Excellence in Instruction Award recipient, Staff Sergeant Amanda McFarland. At this time, we ask all MTIs, past and present, to stand in a sign of unity as our graduates recite the MTI Pledge.
Training instructor hat that I wear
is a symbol of honor, professionalism, integrity, service, and excellence in
all I do. My job is one of the most important to the Air Force, and I will spare no effort to properly prepare men and women for military service. I am dedicated to the principles of fairness, firmness, and honesty. I strive for perfection and reject mediocrity, both in my own personal behaviors and in the performance of those I lead. I am an Air Force military training instructor, and above all, I am an American Airman.
Ladies and gentlemen, the United States Air Force is absolutely committed to ensuring that we pick the most dedicated, most professional NCOs and senior NCOs to come to be military training instructors at basic military training. The NCOs and senior NCOs standing before you absolutely represent the best of the best in the United States Air Force, and our sons and daughters' futures are in great hands because of these phenomenal leaders. Please give our newest MTIs another round of applause.
Order, pause, post.
Thank you, Colonel Edmondson. At this time, Colonel Edmondson and Chief Master Sergeant Sutherland will make a special awards presentation.
Alert! Detail!
737 Training Group, United States Air Force. Joint Base, San Antonio, Lackland, Texas. Subject, Master Military Training Instructor. A Master Military Training Instructor is one who is a total professional in all phases of basic training, is a leader among other instructors, exhibits only the highest characteristics of ethics, morality, and integrity, fully supports the mission, traditions, and esprit de corps of the Air Force basic military training, is the best of the best. The instructors who stand before you today have been awarded the title Master Military Training Instructor in recognition of their superior performance. From the 326th Training Squadron, Master Sergeant Chastity Hurt. From the 737th Training Group, Technical Sergeant Daryl Clark.
Ladies and gentlemen, the blue rope on that campaign hat absolutely represents the best of our phenomenal MTI Corps. Fewer than 10% of our 500 plus MTIs can earn that blue rope. These two leaders standing before you have absolutely dedicated themselves to being the best MTI and setting the best example they can for their fellow MTIs and to continuing to make our MTI Corps better. Please give them another round of applause. Congratulations.
The airmen who will pass in review today have completed a demanding 7-week program that provides Air Force units throughout the world with trained airmen. Part of this training includes the time-proven concepts of military customs and traditions, of which this parade is a vital part. All graduating airmen will also march over the Enlisted Heroes Walk. They will lead the way for the thousands of airmen that will follow, all reflecting on our enlisted heritage, tradition of honor, and our legacy of valor. The President of the United States has officially declared March as Women's History Month. During Women's History Month, we honor the generations of women who have served our nation as doctors and scientists, teachers and factory workers, soldiers and secretaries, and athletes and mothers. We remember the women who have worked the land, cared for our children, nurtured our families, and served in public offices. But we must do more than remember. We must build on the legacy of the millions of women who have contributed so much to the strength and character of our nation. In keeping with this celebration, today's review is dedicated to women everywhere who have made contributions and sacrifices to our country. All staff and flight commander positions in today's parade are being filled by the women of the 737th Training Group. Our Commander of Airmen is Colonel Michelle Edmondson, Commander, Basic Military Training. Colonel Matthews will review today's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the national anthem. 737 Training Group, United States Air Force, Joint Base, San Antonio, Lackland, Texas. Subject, Honor Flight Streamer. The Honor Flight Streamer is awarded to the 322nd Training Squadron, Flight 185, for their significant accomplishments demonstrating teamwork, excellence, and esprit de corps during the period of 2 February 2015 through 27 March 2015. Signed, Michelle Edmondson, Colonel, United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduating airmen passing in review today represent a portion of the 33,000 recruits who will complete basic military training this year. The 737 Training Group provides all recruits the essential military training to become motivated members of the enlisted corps of the greatest Air Force in the world. The military training instructors are responsible for the indoctrination, development, and discipline of the airmen. They have dedicated endless hours to ensure all training objectives are met. Today's graduates have proven through academic studies, military training, physical training, and the development of teamwork that they are ready to take their place in the United States Air Force. All warrior airmen of character have participated in a rigorous competition for the coveted Award of Honor Flight, a significant accomplishment which only one flight per graduating class is able to achieve. Honor Flight can only be awarded to a flight that achieved excellence in all facets of basic military training. Today, Flight 185 for the 322nd Training Squadron is recognized as the honor flight for this graduating class. As our graduates turn left onto the bomb run to pass and review, they will march over the enlisted heroes walk. The airmen recognized on the papers have been awarded our nation's highest honors, representing heroic and unselfish actions as members of the United States Air Force in armed conflict, including present-day operations in Afghanistan. They include 7 Medals of Honor, 25 Air Force Crosses, and 171 Silver Stars awarded for bravery during encounters with hostile enemy combatants. These enlisted heroes serve to inspire all airmen to execute their duties courageously and with honor in their service to this great nation. Musical support for this morning's ceremony has been provided by the 737 Training Group's Drum and Bugle Corps, through 22nd Training Squadron, Flights B-197 and B-198. These flights are performing today under the direction of Staff Sergeant David Evans, hometown Alpine, Texas. These trainees are also in basic military training that have been hand-selected to perform for ceremonies of this type. We would like for you to notice our national, state, and territorial flags. As these flags pass in review, please stand and render the appropriate courtesies for our national flag. Once the flags have passed in review, please be courteous of others and be seated in order to allow all our guests the opportunity to view the flights as they pass in review. Passing in review, our Commander of Airmen is Colonel Michelle Edmondson, Commander, Basic Military Training, hometown, Melbourne, Florida. The Drum and Bugle Corps, Flight B-197 and Flight B-198 from the 322nd Training Squadron, led by Technical Sergeant Julia Westbrook, hometown, Baldwin, Michigan, Technical Sergeant Christine Feldman, hometown, Berkeley, California. The A Squadron Commander is Master Sergeant Stefan Instructor Supervisor, 323rd Training Squadron, hometown, Louisville, Texas. Flight 176 from the 328th Training Squadron, led by Master Sergeant Melanie Holland, Instructor Supervisor, hometown, Madisonville, Louisiana. Flight 177 from the 321st Training Squadron, led by Technical Sergeant Tara Dummel, hometown, Albany, New York. Flight 178 from the 321st Training Squadron, led by Technical Sergeant Rita Blair, hometown, Colorado Springs, Colorado. Warrior Flight 179 from the 320th Training Squadron, led by Technical Sergeant Dawn Ashanti, hometown, Houston, Texas. flights selected to carry our national, state, and territorial flags are from the 322nd Training Squadron, Honor Flight 185 and Flight 186, led by Technical Sergeant Sarah O'Rourke, hometown Goldsboro, North Carolina, and Technical Sergeant Tanisha King, hometown Panama City, Florida.
Right up! Hut! Right up! Hut!
The B Squadron Commander is Master Sergeant April Howard, Instructor Supervisor, 322nd Training Squadron, hometown Columbus, Georgia. Warrior Flight 180 from the 322 Training Squadron, led by Master Sergeant Hillary Graham, hometown Heidelberg, Germany.
Get up! Hut!
Flight 181 from the 323rd Training Squadron, led by Staff Sergeant Katrinius Swift, hometown Conyers, Georgia. Flight 182 from the 323rd Training Squadron, led by Technical Sergeant Melanie Ogden, hometown Kingman, Michigan. Flight 183 from the 331st Training Squadron, led by Technical Sergeant LaShawn Pittman, hometown Atlanta, Georgia. Flight 184 from the 331st Training Squadron, led by Technical Sergeant Ollie Behringer, hometown Grassley, Michigan. Ladies and gentlemen, now approaching the reviewing stand is a representation of a female contribution to the basic military training mission. These military training instructors are being led by Master Sergeant Chrissy Slifer, Military Drill and Ceremonies NCOIC, Standardization and Evaluations Flight, hometown Newburgh, New York. The women of the 737 Training Group offer this symbolic gesture of respect to all women who have served the federal government. We thank you for your sacrifices and contributions that have served to strengthen this great nation throughout history. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the United States Air Force song. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. Over the last 7.5 weeks, the airmen before you have transformed from civilians into motivated, disciplined warrior airmen with a foundation to serve in the world's greatest Air Force. Once these airmen complete this phase of training, they will attend technical training to learn the skills needed to perform in one of over 130 Air Force specialties. They will then move on to serve at one of over 84 Air Force bases around the world or work directly with our sister services. As these airmen move on to technical training, they will continue to focus on adapting to military requirements, achieving occupational proficiency, and learning how to be highly productive members of the Air Force. These men and women will prepare for increased responsibilities and must ensure they are trained, qualified, and ready to deploy and operate in an expeditionary environment while maintaining home station readiness. Of the hundreds of thousands of American citizens that enter the workforce each year, less than 1% have joined the ranks of the U.S. military and an even smaller percentage in the United States Air Force. You should be proud of their accomplishments thus far. The airmen before you have reached a milestone in their Air Force journey. It will require your continued support to assist them in their future endeavors. These airmen are the future of our Air Force and will pave the way for future generations of airmen as we continue to fly, fight, and win. We would like to take a moment to congratulate all of our Squadron Honor graduates as well as their families. Basic Military Training Honor graduates distinguish themselves by being ranked in the top 10% of all airmen graduating in their class. The exceptional personal dedication, integrity, service before self, and sustained excellence these airmen displayed throughout basic military training earn them this outstanding distinction. As the airmen march forward for the oath of enlistment, we would like to thank the families and friends who are here in support of the airmen graduating today. Your words of encouragement helped motivate these airmen through 7.5 weeks of basic military training. On behalf of the United States Air Force and Air Force Basic Military Training, we extend our thanks to the many families and friends of America's airmen for the support of your airmen and the greatest air power the world has ever known. Colonel Matthews will now come forward and address our graduated airmen.
that incredible? How about these airmen? Yeah. Tell you what, if your heart is not swelling with pride right now, you need to get with the person next to you and have them check your pulse. This is absolutely amazing. I'd like to first thank Lieutenant General Hogue, Colonel Edwards for deferring the reviewing officer duties to me today. I'm both humbled and honored to be able to represent the women who have served our great nation, both past, present, and future. So thank you very much for that opportunity. As it was announced earlier, we are celebrating Women's History Month. And as you can see, we had all of our female leadership leading the parade today. How about a fantastic job? Fashion, and it wasn't until 1976 before they started allowing women to be female pilots. And not until 1993, so when they actually allowed them to be fighter pilots. And recently, we've just started the process of allowing our women into our special operations forces. So we've come a long way, ladies and gentlemen. After the Revolutionary War, a young lady named Deborah Sampson actually dressed up as a male soldier just in order to be able to fight for her country. And not only just fight for her country, but for the establishment of her country. And now, in 2015, we have over 58,000 women serving in the active duty Air Force, which represents 19% of our service. Tell you what, we've come a long way, but the future is even brighter. And it starts with these airmen right here behind you. As they stand here proud before you today, they are not here because of just themselves. They had a lot of help getting here. So if you are a veteran, if you could please stand up, please. Veteran of any service. Thank you. You guys have made the foundation for these people to follow in your legacy. Thank you for your service, for your sacrifice to your great nation. Thank you very much. Also, these folks got here for the last 7.5 weeks only because of one group of folks, and that is your MTI Corps. If you're a past or present MTI Corps, please stand. An incredible group of people. They pour their blood, sweat, and tears into the airmen you see before you, and every week of every year, or week of every year, they do it constantly. 24/7, they are an MTI, and they represent the Air Force, and they make sure that these folks are going to go out and serve your nation and protect your freedom. So thank you very much for your hard work and dedication. All right, families. I'm not going to have you stand because that's a whole bunch of you. But thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate all the support you've given, all the times that they've needed support to get here, to continue on. Your job is not done. It is just beginning. They're going to go out and do great things for our nation, and it's because of the support that you're going to provide them throughout their years to not only have reached the point they are today, but to continue to serve. We appreciate that. Thank you so much for being there today. So, now on to our airmen. I want you to know that this is one of the proudest days that you will have in the Air Force, but it's not the only one. You have several more ahead of you, and I want you to remember that. Continue to strive to be the best. Continue to take every opportunity you can to serve this great nation, whether it be in incumbents, whether it be overseas, whether it be deployed, whatever your job is, it is important. And remember that. You are an important part of the thread of this nation. Very few people take the oath that you're about to take, and it is important to continue to do that. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves to represent this nation. You are an airman 24/7. Even when you take that uniform off, you represent the United States Air Force. I want you to embrace the core values. I want you to think of integrity in everything that you do. I want you to give service, and I want you to do it in an excellent manner. Because being an airman isn't just a job, it is a lifestyle. So please, become the leaders that we know that you can become. And overfill the shoes of these veterans in the crowd
I just have one final question for you. Are you ready to join the ranks of the world's greatest Air Force? Think you're ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Colonel Matthews will now administer the oath of enlistment.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear or affirm.
Do solemnly swear
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
that I will